Ooh, it's bright. What's up, y'all? Hope everybody can hear me out there. I ain't got no headphones on, but look, check this out, man. I'm about to go on and get into this first video, man. We got we got a black kid that was killed over a $2 beer. I wanted to go in and have its own OBS so I could show y'all what I'm reading off of and blah blah blah. But I want to get y'all's feedback on how y'all feel about this. Stuff has gone on, y'all know, in the black community for years and years and years. But first off, let me read this this is from the Washington Post. This is the best one I could find. A teen walked out with a $2 beer. The store clerk chased him down and shot him to death. Now I'm gonna have a lot to say post reading this, so stick with me if you can, or if you watching this post the live, come back. Well, fast forward. If you can't stand the reading, come back, fast forward, and get my thoughts on it if you've already known the story. But look, check this out. 17-year-old Dorian Harris was already on his way out the door when the store clerk, Anwar Gonzalez, grabbed his gun, pointing it over the counter with two hands. Harris had spent about 7 seconds inside the store. The Top Stop shop in Memphis was busy that night, about 10 p.m. on March 29, 2018. And when the unarmed teenager waltzed through the door, he didn't waste any time being sneaky. Dressed in purple pants and a hoodie, he grabbed a $2 beer from the shelf in plain view of Gonzalez, turned and left as the clerk raced around the counter. Gonzalez bursted toward the door, past bewildered customers milling near the counter. Beverly Loverson was one. She saw Harris and the beer and Gonzalez and the gun. And as he passed me, she remembered while testifying on the stand this week in court. I said, don't kill him. Don't kill him. It's just a beer. Gonzalez spun around looking for Harris in the parking lot before spotting him bolting down the block. Gonzalez took off at a sprint. He caught up and fired his gun 1, 2, at least 3 times. It must have been from witness testimony. Then he went back to the store. As he walked back inside, he said, I think I shot him, according to an arrest warrant, and returned to the cash register to ring up the next guest. He never called 911. To ring up the next guest. Didn't even think twice about it. Like he's just going on with his normal routine. Let me not get too much into it yet, though. I don't want to tip my hand. 2 days later, Harris was found dead on the same block, collapsed in a man's backyard. On Thursday, Gonzalez was convicted of second-degree murder, marking the end of a case that has sparked protests and boycotts and inflamed racial tensions in Memphis, Tennessee, as hundreds mourn the African-American teenager. Hundreds, that's what's up. Gonzalez is set to be sentenced next month, facing between 15 and 60 years in prison. This defendant took it upon himself to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner over a $2 beer, prosecutor Laura Fowler told the jury. I'm glad she added in $2 as well. Kind of makes it real. You know what I mean? It realizes it. According to footage of the trial from WMC TV, it continues. In the immediate aftermath of the 2018 shooting, dozens of protesters swarmed the parking lot of the Top Stop shop, calling for a boycott of the business and forcing the store to barricade its doors. Family members and friends set up a memorial for Harris on the curb, and dozens attended a candlelight vigil, holding signs that read Black Lives Matter and Justice for Dorian. One sign asked, is it worth it? With the bottle of still reserved beer drawn in the center. The outcry caught the attention of a Bernice A. King, daughter of Martin Luther King Jr. She was in town last week for the 50th anniversary of her father's assassination. Wow. Dear Memphis, wrote King, Chief Executive of the King Center, I'm here in your city. Dorian Harris should be here too. If we don't value Black lives and believe that Dorian's life is worth far more than an allegedly stolen beer, then we're not authentically honoring my father. There's a picture of the kid, but I can't show y'all. At the time of his death, Harris was enrolled as a 9th grade student at an alternative high school after he spent time in Job Corps, a vocational training program administered by the Department of Labor. The Commercial Appeal reported he was living with his grandmother at the time, but on the night of March 29, 2018, she allowed him to stay at his cousin's house and didn't think anything of it when Harris didn't come home. His grandmother, Effie Fitch, told the Commercial Appeal. That's another thing we got to stop doing. We got to start looking after our babies. Numerous witnesses were in the store when Gonzalez pulled the gun. None of them called 911 either, something that Loverson said she had come to regret. That must be the lady that said it ain't worth it. It's just a $2 beer, let him go. In the hours and days after the shooting, Gonzalez never reported it, and he never complained to the police about any theft. It was just about making himself feel like, I got that motherfucker. I got him up out of here. I take the law into my own hands on some vigilante shit. He just left him out there to die, Fitch told the Commercial Appeal. And I do believe in all my heart that if he had called the police and let somebody know that he shot somebody, that my grandson would be alive today. Harris was shot in the left leg. I think they said it was his femoral artery. I think that's on your femur. And the bullet severed a major artery, Fowler said during the trial. A neighbor who lives four doors down from the convenience store told the jury that 2 days after the shooting, he noticed a trail of blood in his yard. WMC TV reported he followed it and found Harris's body 2 days later. Throughout the trial, Gonzalez's defense attorney argued that his client never intended to kill Harris, that it was just a shot in the dark, a shot at him. It's ridiculous. The attorney, Blake Ballin, argued on the. I read. I knew they had to be the dude Blake Ballin because I read whose was it? Whose article was it? I think it was the Source magazine. They had the dude's name is Black Ballin. I'm like, what the fuck is who's Black Ballin? This is a damn defense attorney. But indeed, it's Blake Ballin because I saw that on the. I looked up the attorney's websites. They are in Memphis, Tennessee. They out of Memphis, Tennessee, and there was a Blake Ballin on there. So it's indeed his name. Argued that Gonzalez was firing warning shots. The Commercial Appeal reported he said Gonzalez's behavior immediately after the shooting indicated that he didn't believe he could have killed the teen, or he didn't know, didn't care, or didn't think to even do it. To call him because he knew he was in the wrong. Think about what you expected somebody to do after they have chased down and executed a person. Yeah, he ought to think about that. You exactly right, defense attorney. Ballin said, according to the video of the trial, would they go back to work? It's a good question, dog. The jury, but you said you thought you shot him. The jury deliberated for less than 4 hours on Thursday to reach a guilty verdict following the 3-day trial. Ballin said in a statement following the verdict, I understand why this case caused public frustration because another African-American kid has been needlessly killed. But decisions of guilt and innocence and questions of intent should not be based on emotion. The defense team did our best to make sure that the jury rendered a verdict based on the facts of the case and not on the color of someone's skin. I wish that guy, the shooter wouldn't had. Do you think if this was just say a kid comes in, just say it's a white kid properly, don't even go there. Say it's another, because this is just to let y'all know, giving a little bit of information beforehand, before I go into my spiel, my soliloquy. Listen, this is a Middle Eastern person. And if it was a Middle Eastern kid dressed in nice clothes, you think you see his parents' vehicle pull up and let him out of the car, and for some reason, he just comes in and steals a beer and runs back out. Do you think he would have been prejudged and he would have pulled the gun immediately, like put that beer down? No. So how can you say don't base it on the color of his skin? It was all about the color of his skin. I'm sure he deals with a lot of black people and predominantly black people. That don't make it okay to kill him. Okay, let's read on. Harris's father, Hanson Pete, who lives in Alabama, told WMC TV in an interview that he was feeling just lost. I'm lost that this murder took my son away from me, he said. Why did this happen to my son? Why was he left there like that, like he was nothing? All right, that's it, y'all. So now let's get into it. Let's get into my thoughts. Hold on, I ain't even checked back with y'all. Let me see what's good. I'm bugging. Check this out. When you think, oh my goodness, my son would call at the very worst time, inopportune time. What's up, man?
I didn't want to FaceTime you, but I wanted to call you
What's up?
But when you said you was talking to my mom, and I remember she said you would bring me to the trampoline park tomorrow.
Yeah, you should have called earlier. It's too late now.
Why?
Because it's almost 6 o'clock.
Why?
It's almost 6 o'clock, egghead. We should have went up there about 12. Why you didn't call me? You got school tomorrow too, man. They probably closed, buddy. Oh, sir. Poor connection. Anyway, look, y'all. How do I feel about the stores in the black community, in the impoverished black communities? Most black communities that I've been in, when you go to a convenience store, it's mostly always ran by Middle Eastern people. And I have nothing against anybody of any other race at all. I get along with all the Middle Eastern people that's in my community. I got one that named Zach that's been here forever, for as long as I can. Well, not as long as I can remember, but from when I was a really, really young kid. Before him, I think it was Sabastat. But it went through a couple more changes. But he's been here for the strong part of 20 years. I guarantee that. Real cool dude. Get along with him. Talk to him every time I go in. We talk about a whole lot of stuff, from religion to his home to art to here in America, all kinds of stuff. Another one named Lucky, right down the street. Super cool as well. Like if I say I forget my wallet or something at home, they give me credit, any of that. Like we got that kind of relationship. Sold them iPhones back when iPhones first started coming out, all kinds of stuff. But I do often wonder, why in the world do you go into these impoverished black communities and see everything geared toward black people? It might sound funny, but they got everything that the black community goes after. Like it's like somebody told them, coming from their homeland, because you could tell by their strong accents. I ain't trying to accents. They strong thick you could tell this is American English is their second language, if not some other third, fourth, fifth, because I didn't met people from all over the world that had to speak 7 different languages. But you could tell this it's almost like somebody is sending out a signal to tell everybody that's coming from the Middle Eastern part of the world, when they come to America, start you a convenience store in the black community, in a strong community. I mean, it goes as they have everything geared towards us. If you go in there and you a male, they're gonna have your t-shirts, they're gonna have the style of ball caps we wear, they're gonna have jerseys, they're gonna have cologne, oils, mad boxes of blunts, all kinds of different blunts, wraps. They even got the fake weed. I mean, to be downright silly with it, they even sometimes you can get real weed. You know, you're gonna have to know them and get the inside scoop, but you can get real weed. I know some of them to sell guns, pistols out the shops. Like, it gets crazy. Now they even got the CBD weed, the weed with like 3% or less, 0.3% or less of THC in it. Like, it's crazy. Like, everything geared towards niggas. Excuse my language, but that's just what it is. If you're a woman, you go in to these convenience stores, they got everything from beads that go on your hair to weaves. That's crazy. They got do-rags, they got brushes, they got they got combs for coarse hair, black people hair. They got everything geared towards black people. They sell fried chicken in most of these stores. I mean, come on. It makes it convenient. It's a convenience store. But they selling fried chicken, they selling fried cauliflower, they selling everything that black people would not need to go anywhere else. You don't need to go to Kroger, you don't need to go to Walmart. You go right to their store and get what they need. And it's super duper intelligent, it's super smart, it's witty, it's clever, it's all of that. But who is putting everybody up on game? Is it the customers that's coming in? I don't think so. I think there's really a community of people that tell them this is what to do to get the black dollar. That's all I wanted to say. I hope y'all have a nice day. Let me know what y'all think about this video. I can go in and do edited videos, all of that. If y'all like this type of content, holler at me. Peace.